Alhaji Isiaka Adesina Kareem. I was born on June 18, 1957 in Owo. I attended primary school in Owo before I proceeded to Imade College, Owo. I was a student in Imade College between 1969 and 1973. On graduation, I worked as auxiliary teacher for about 2 years before I gained admission into the university. I attended University of Ife, and on graduation, I served in Rukuba Jos before I was given appointment in the Ondo State Teaching Service Commission as a class teacher. I served in various capacities as class teacher, head of department, vice principal, before I became principal in year 2000. I was principal in various schools before I was transferred to Imade College, my alma mater, as the principal. Between May 5, 2005 and May 3, 2017. That is, I served in Imade College for 12 years as the principal. And in May 3, 2017, I was appointed first as acting Tutor General, Permanent Secretary, and subsequently confirmed as Tutor General, Permanent Secretary in Ondo State Public Service Commission. It was on this appointment that led to my transfer from Imade College before I retired from government service. In addition to being principal of schools, I served in many other capacities in Ondo State. For example, I was seconded as Education Secretary of our local government education authority between 1994 and 1996. I was at one time the president of Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, ANCOPS, in Ondo State. I was also the Secretary General, Parents Teachers Association of Ondo State. Recently, I was appointed the President General of Imade College Old Student Association, a capacity on which I served until 15 March 2025. Imade College, Owo, was established in 1946, and it's one of the oldest schools in Ondo State. I think presently Imade College is the second oldest secondary school in Ondo State. Imade College has produced many distinguished members of Nigeria. The first principal of the college was Pa Michael Adekunle Ajashi, the first executive governor of Ondo State. And there were many other principals, and I happened to be the 12th principal of Imade College. The attributes to be exhibited by a successful principal, there are many, but include the following. A principal from the start must be a visionary leader. A principal must determine what that he wants to achieve in the school. For example, when I came to Imade College, My target was one, to maintain discipline among the staff and the students and make him at the college the most disciplined secondary school, not only in Owo, but in Ondo State. And by this, all the teachers were ensured to be well disciplined, and the students. And we thank God we were able to achieve this. Then number two, make school environment conducive for teaching and learning. In fact, if the environment is not very conducive, one can be sure that the workers and even the students will not be interested in staying in the school. But when I got to him at the college, I first of all ensure that I improved on the outlook of the principal's office, the vice principal's office, and the staff common room. In fact, the teachers were so happy that they were always willing to come to school. Even they were so proud that they would be telling other teachers in the environment that, come and look at our school. We equally improved on the aesthetic outlook of the school by making sure that lawns are well maintained. We planted different flowers and grasses to improve on the outlook of the school, that even members of the community, when they came into the school, some will be asking themselves, is this a secondary school or a tertiary institution? So this gave the workers and the students the interest to always be in the school. They are very proud of the school. Then, number three, a good principal will make sure that he assists the workers in resolving their official and domestic challenges. That is problem solving. If a teacher is having even domestic problem, if you leave him to it, definitely this will affect his work. So, as a good principal, you must try to identify the challenges of teachers, official challenges, and domestic challenges. So, next attribute that is worth mentioning is empathy and emotional intelligence. The principal must be able to build positive relationships. Principal must understand and respond to the needs and emotions of the workers, including staff and even students. For example, a worker that is emotionally unstable may not be able to work to achieve the goal. If we have such, the principal must try to be close to such a person, know what his problem is, and see how he will be able to assist that person. Then next we have fairness and consistency. Principal should be able to know the ability of every teacher and should be able to be fair to all the teachers and be consistent in his judgment. For example, whatever is good for the goose must also be good for the gander. A principal must use the same measure to address the same issue. So the principal must be very fair in his judgment. In all his activities, he must be very, very fair. Every worker will know that our principal will not take this. It's not to say this person is very close to the principal and the principal will not scold him. A school principal must have harmonious relationship with stakeholders like the PTA, the old student, and even the community at large. This will definitely yield good dividend for the school. For example, with our good relationship with the PTA, the old student, in 2006, when I was the principal, one old student built computer lab for the school. At another time, in 2011, a year set bought a brand new coaster for the school. When I was the president general of the Old Student Association of Imade College, the old students, in collaboration with different year sets, bought a brand new coaster bus for the school. So a principal, a good attribute of the principal is to be able to collaborate with the old student and the PTA. The PTA, when I was there, was doing a lot for the school, and I'm sure they still kept it on. Then a principal must be accessible to the workers, to the students, and even the parents and members of the community. This will go a long way to foster good relationship with these stakeholders. And finally, it will be a good attribute of a principal. Like I said, to be a visionary leader, there must be a clearly stated vision for the school. They motivate the staff and the student and create positive environment. This will definitely be part of the attributes that will enhance the performance of the school. Some of the major challenges that we have with the students is a case of truancy. The students, they will leave the home but will not get to the school most of the time. Some will be within the compound but will not enter the classes. So we use many different means to curb this. We have assistant principals that monitor, in addition to other things, attendance of students in the classes. They take attendance every day. Then we make sure that our teachers, they take attendance whenever they are in the class to teach. And any student discovered not to stay in the class will summarily be disciplined. And within the student and the staff, we had a school guard that monitor the activities. The guards are intelligent guards that are not known to the students. So most of the behavior of the students, their classmates will be the ones that will relate to them. Some of them that leave home and will not get to school, their friends that know and that among the guards will come and inform us so that the following day we can challenge them. They won't be able to deny. So by this, they thought the principal was a wizard. But how does he always discover whenever I'm not in school? But we use intelligent means. The issue of the parents. There are a lot of challenges But majorly, it has to do with funding because of the economic situation. Most parents, they don't provide funds for their children, for their needs. And this is really affecting the children. Even we have some students that will not eat in the morning coming to the school. The parents will not even bother about this, whether they eat or not. We have seen cases of some students that were looking very sick or even collapsed in the school. And by the time you ask your son, you discover that they did not eat in the morning. And the parents did not even give them any money for feeding. And they must have trekked from a distance from the school. So the parents are not funding their students, their children adequately. They are not funding their children adequately. From time to time, we call them for a meeting and we address this. But in an environment where a larger percentage of these parents are illiterate, they seem not to understand the essence of keeping their children happy. Then the second one is that many of the parents, they don't monitor the activities of the students, the children at home. For example, we have parents that don't even know the class that the child is. We have parents that don't know whether the child was promoted or not promoted, even at the end of the year. So many of our parents don't care. They care. Particularly with the current level of Nigerian economy and the way we have a lot of illiterates that are making money. Some parents will say, even if he doesn't read, he will be rich. So level of illiteracy is equally affecting the parents. They don't monitor the affairs of the students. So this even culminated into not knowing whether the students come to school or not. At least a parent, maybe once a time, should even come to the school and want to see, ask for the performance of the students. But most of our parents don't care about this. The teachers, the challenges they have majorly laziness on part of some teachers. Some teachers will even go to the class and will not complete the lesson. So a lesson or a topic that is supposed to be treated in a week, you will see a teacher teaching that same thing for 3-4 weeks, and by the end of the term will not complete the curriculum. So by this, we use different means. The assistant principals were useful. Then at the end of every term, we have what we call internal inspection. This internal inspection embraces all aspects of school life. Most of the teachers are not feeling happy because of the economic situation. So what we do is we try as much as possible. Number one, we have a lot of cooperative bodies that will support the teachers. Then from the school end too, whichever way we can support them, we do. Challenges of the proprietor. When Imade College was established, it was established as a community school. That time the community was struggling to ensure that the school was going on well. I think in 1979, the Ondo State government took over all schools, and all schools became government-funded school. Gradually, since that 79, the funding of the school has becoming dwindling. For example, when I was principal here, or throughout my 12 years as principal, government did not give the school any capital grant. No grant for capital project. Government pretended they are carrying out capital projects in schools. In fact, throughout my stay in the school, government renovated a block of classroom just once for 12 years. So the funding by the government, who is the proprietor, is very, very poor. Government only manages to pay the salaries, and occasionally they will give instructional materials that are not enough. For example, a school of about 2,000 population, and they give say bread, just 50 breads. How would that be useful? However, the other issue has to do with workforce. The teachers or the staffing is very, very poor. As at the time I was leaving the college as principal, the staffing position is not more than 50–55% of what it should be. How can you expect 55% to do the work of 100%? So they stay bothered on funding, then the workforce are not forthcoming. Even look at the level of security men. The government approved 4 security men for the compound, a compound covering many hectares of land. Out of the 4, 2 died. They were not replaced. So the workforce dwindled to a ridiculous level. How do we solve this? We want to thank God for our collaboration with the old students and the PTA. In fact, the old students collectively and individually were really supporting the school. They employed adjunct teachers that assisted the school. Many teachers. At the time, the teachers employed and being paid for by Osuna was getting to about 35–40 in the school. So the old students are really performing wonders in the school. And that is why any school principal must continue to collaborate with them and make them see the result of what they are spending upon.